Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Gina once again, and I'm on number 53 of my abstract mixed media pieces. Woohoo! I never thought. Today I'm using my bigger book. It's a 9-inch by 12-inch mixed media journal book. The thickness of the page is 190 GSM. There are 68 pages, 34 sheets. So yeah, it's going well. Today I started off using some charcoal sticks. I used the soft one, and I am now painting on some white acrylic paint to cover that up. So I wanted to see the marks, but also push it back and kind of gray it out. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm also covering my page so that it doesn't soak into the page. So it's really serving many purposes. I thought as the paint was still wet, I would just turn my brush around and give it some nice scratches. And I love seeing those darker marks come through where I scratched. I really like it. So I'm just adding some scratch marks wherever I can before the paint dries too much. Then I've dried my page and I'm going to add some color. This is still my leftover paint that I've been using for a couple days now. What I did to preserve it, to keep it wet, is just put a piece of glass over it, and it keeps it from drying out, which is really cool. The only downside to that is, you kind of end up using the same colors over and over, but I mean, it's finishing, so it's okay. So this is me I used the bigger journal because I wanted to get rid of this paint. I'm kind of fed up with these colors, even though they're really nice colors. So I'm just adding some paint on, I'm mixing in some white, mixing in some black, and just adding some color on my page, and I'm trying my best to keep some white space, which is usually difficult. It doesn't come natural. I actually have to put thought into it, serious thoughts. Like, okay, Gina, remember, try not to put paint over here, try not to cover up the whole page. That's what happens in my brain. So I'm actually at the point here where I think it looks really cool. So I thought I'd add some splashes because that's what I love. But I didn't want to add black. So I'm just doing a gray, just to keep it in the similar tones. And trying to think as I'm doing this what I should do next. Because I'm trying also not to overdo the page, but I want to continue painting. So I'm coming back in with my charcoal sticks again. I'm just adding those similar marks that I did underneath, but not too much of it. And then I'm gonna paint in some places where I added in those charcoal marks. Paint over the charcoal marks, but only in some places. So I'm trying to add back in some white. I'm trying to keep some lighter areas. I'm also trying not to cover all of the splashes that I just made because I love how it looks. So yeah, trying to keep some white and trying to bring back some white, trying to lighten up some areas. Yeah, and just, working intuitively as usual. I'm wiping back some of that white because, you just want to lighten it, but just not for it to be so stark. So I dried that, and I'm thinking maybe I could add some red to give it a little pop. And then I'm going to add some black again. I was running out. So I'm just going to put some black in some tiny areas just to catch the eye, to get it drifting in other areas on the page. And I'm really liking this line that's happening on the page. So then I remembered I had thread. I was looking for something and I was like, hey, look, my thread. It's been a while since I've added thread to one of my pieces. So this is my attempt. I fiddled around with this a lot. It was ridiculous how much time I spent on this piece of thread. So I really, really tried to get it, you know, where I felt like, yeah, that's cool. And then I thought maybe it needed another piece somewhere else on the page. So I've tried, took off less. I tried to do it in a different, in a bunch instead. But it just, I don't know. I put it there, left it to see, how my eye would like it. Then I kept taking it off. I was like, nah. So I like that. And then I thought, you know what, let me give that a rest for a while. And I'll add this piece. This is a piece that I was trying my leather belt hole punch. I was trying it out on different materials, and this is one of the materials I tried it out on. And I'm going to use it in this piece. So this is brown cotton, and I'm just adding some paint to it so it would match the page itself. So I'm just adding some of the colors, the black and the blue, to just help it match my page. And my brush is dry, it's not wet, so it's just, it's a nice dry brush effect that I'm getting on the cloth, because I don't want it to soak in. I want it to be kind of rough and sketchy and spacey. So I like how that looks, and now I'm bringing back in my book so I could place it on to see where I'm going to put it, how I'm going to put it, and where in relation to the thread, if I'm still going to use the thread, how I'm going to use the thread. So yeah. And as I said before, I love this black line coming down. So I'm trying my best not to cover it. And I decided on, you see, I'm still trying to put this little piece of thread in. But it just wasn't working. So I actually like how this looks. And I said, yes, okay, this is it. I'm going to leave it like this. And now I'm going to get my fabric glue, which is by Sargent. And I'm just going to stick that down. I'm putting a bit around the eyelets. Right. So I'm just going to glue that down, but I'm only gluing down the middle because I don't want the whole thing stuck. I like that the sides could remain up. And then I'm going to glue down the thread. And from there, I'll decide if I want to add anything else to the page. So here I'm looking at it, trying to decide, do I want to leave it like this? Because sometimes after I take it off, then I could tell, okay, this is it. Or, nah, I want to add some more. So I decided, nah, I want to add some more. So I'm adding natural beige and antique white. It's deco art. Because of the cotton, the brown cotton. Because I felt like there was nothing else on the page that color. And it kind of, even though I did paint the colors on the page onto it, it still felt like it was not really tying in. So I thought if I mix those two colors together and just added some of it, some places on the page. It would help, you know, bring it together a little more. So I wasn't sure where to put it, but I finally decided on a couple spots, and I'm just adding it here and there, just kind of feathering it out because I don't want it too intense either. And that's why I mixed it with the antique white, because I didn't want the beige to, the beige is kind of strong for this page, so I didn't want it so strong, so that's why I mixed it. I suppose I could have mixed it with white, but it really honestly didn't even occur to me. So I added it in my 3 places and I feel a lot better about it. I went outside my border there a bit. I thought the brush, I must have picked up some blue somewhere because it wasn't white. So yeah, probably it had on the brush and I don't know. I probably dipped it badly. But yeah, so I'm just neatening up my border and that's gonna be it. This is my page. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. And I really look forward to your comments as always. Your feedback is awesome. See you in the next video.